You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
So tune in at 4 p.m. Pacific Time right here to KCAA AM 1050 and listen to Linda Gross. Thank you.
Taking no control, it's your heart and soul. It's your heart and
soul. And welcome to another edition of the Men's Advocate Show with your host, me, Linda Gross. We're going to be talking about sex, dating, relationships, fitness, health, guns, dynamite, things that blow up, rifles, man caves, barbecues, spirits, beer, and whatever you guys want to talk about. This is an all men's issue show, and I'm so excited to welcome you to our show. We're going to have a great guest today. The name of the topic today is Stuck at 17. Now, what does that mean? That means we will look at the detrimental effects. We'll look at the detrimental effects that happen to the male psyche when a 17-year-old guy, when his girl either cheats on him or leaves him for another guy. Very interesting topic. Hope you'll join in. If you'd like to call us, our call-in number is 888-909-1050. That's 888-909-1050.
Taking no control, it's your heart and soul. It's your heart and soul.
And welcome to another edition of the Men's Advocate Show with your host, me, Linda Gross. We're going to be talking about sex, dating, relationships, fitness, health, guns, dynamite, things that blow up, rifles, man caves, barbecues, spirits, beer, and whatever you guys want to talk about. This is an all men's issue show, and I'm so excited to welcome you to our show. We're going to have a great guest today. The name of the topic today is Stuck at 17. Now, what does that mean? That means we will look at the detrimental effects. We'll look at the detrimental effects that happen to the male psyche when a 17-year-old guy, when his girl either cheats on him or leaves him for another guy. Very interesting topic. Hope you'll join in. If you'd like to call us, our call-in number is 888-909-1050. That's 888-909-1050. Welcome back to the Men's Advocate Show with Linda Gross. This is the show where men can be men. We're talking about how men get stuck at age 17 and they can't recover from that. So here's what I want you to keep in mind. Everything in life is energy. Energy in, energy out. And sometimes life just throws things at you. So it's not about what is thrown at you, it's about how you cope and deal with it. That's what makes you stuck, and or that's what makes you grow as a person. And that choice is yours. So it's not about, your boss fired you, or your girl cheated on you, or some other horrible thing that happened to you, or your car broke down. It's about how you cope and how you deal with it. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. What I have observed is in psychology, we have 30 different emotions. And girls, unlike guys, talk to anyone and everyone. They'll even talk to a random stranger on the street corner if they have to get out what their needs are. So girls have this ability of using all 30 emotions with no problem. Unfortunately, one of the reasons why men get stuck is they're not allowed to talk about their feelings. And men, socially speaking, only have one socially acceptable feeling they can talk about, and that's anger. That's it. The other 29 are put away in a closet on a shelf somewhere. And I'm going to be one of the only women that will tell you that you as a man do not have to be sensitive. Don't listen to the women that say, oh, I want a guy who's more sensitive and can cry at the movies. No, that's the girl way of handling behavior. The male way of handling behavior is through the physical, through action. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So it's not about what's thrown at you, the negativity that's thrown at you, and it's not about stuffing it. Stuffing it doesn't work, obviously, because that's how you get stuck in that timetable in time. So instead, what we're going to do is transform your feeling. Transform it. Okay? All right, so let's welcome our guest, superstar love coach, Bruce Starr.
Hey, Linda. Great to be on your show. Thank you so much for asking me to join you.
Absolutely. Bruce, if you would kindly speak a little closer to the mic, our audience can hear you a little bit better. I think that'd be great. Bruce and I've been on a talk show with Bruce, I think 2 or 3 times, and we really hit it off. I really value his opinion. He's got a lot of great ideas, and let's hear what he has to say about this subject.
Well, Linda, you're absolutely right about the men. I've been talking to a lot of different men and women for many, many years now. Actually, on America Online, I had over 6,000 intimate, detailed conversations with both men and women about their relationships. And I thought I was going in that room to help them with their relationships, and of course I did. But what I couldn't believe was, after listening to nearly 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 different intimate stories about people's lives, I started seeing quite a trend. And I think that the trend that I started seeing was, and it's kind of what you talked about, when we were younger, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, if we fell in love, boy, is that one of the greatest times in your life. It feels so good. There's no luggage. There's no baggage. It's just euphoria. It's fantastic.
It's a roller coaster ride, isn't it? Like in a good sense. It's you have all these feelings and emotions that are happening in your gut, and it's exhilarating.
Yes, absolutely. And you just ride that wave, and sometimes, you have these breakups or you have these arguments, but you don't have this really hardcore defensiveness inside of you. So you keep on trying, and you absolutely love it. Now, most people that I spoke to, and I think a lot of people in the world, for some reason, the relationship broke up. Their mother broke it up. Their father broke it up. Your mother, your father, they broke it up with you. If you had your
jealous
heart
friend.
broken, yes, exactly. If you had your heart broken by somebody and you're a guy, there's a really good chance that you never recovered for the reasons that you talked about. Men don't have anybody to share their feelings with. Are successful and have a happy life. They're the ones that have learned how to deal with the disappointments the best way. The ones that cry, woe is me, and I'm a victim. And, we've all gone through it. I certainly have. And you start blaming this one and you start blaming that one. Those are the ones that really have a tough time in life and have a really tough time growing up and growing away from that pain.
Absolutely. Now, I was on Poor Man's show earlier, and he was asking me what today's topic was, and he said, Linda, he says, what's so different about age 17 versus age 25? A lot of guys, they cheat on girls all the time at age 25, so what's the difference? So I seek your answer as well, but my answer to him was, according to my research from a biological point of view, young men are most impressionable between the ages of 17 and 21. Those are your formative years. So whatever happens during that 4-year segment in your life will be etched. That will be your character. That will be your personality for the rest of your life. So that's why men at that age take it so hard when they're set back with heartbreak and emotional turmoil such as this. The difference between that and age 25 is maybe he's already gone through the hurt with the high school girlfriend, and now he's just, he's got high testosterone during his 20s, and he's just out to score every girl. So it doesn't affect him as much, meaning that he already knows going into the sexual relationship, I'm just here for a one night or a 1 week or 1 month deal, and I'm out of here. So he's already psyched up his mind that that's what the mindset is. But what throws him for a loop is when he's 17, he's not going with that mindset. He's very innocent. So that was my take on it. Bruce, what's your take on it? What's the difference between if a guy gets dumped or cheated on at age 25 versus 17?
I think there's a really big difference, and here's why. When you're 16, 17, 18 years old, you're in high school. You've put all your energy into this girlfriend, just like you see in the old high school movies. You put all your energy into it. You're not in your career. You're not doing anything. You're not off to college. You're in high school. And when you find somebody that you love, oh, my God, it's like you put your whole world into it. By the time you're 24, 25, if you haven't been in love, your life is so distracted by your career, by the 90% of the time that you spend in your career, that when you fall in love then, it's rarely the same because you're just not putting 90% of the energy into the love. You're already putting 90% of the energy into your career and making money. Very different.
Yes, that career element is very important. I absolutely agree with you. Another trait in biology is that men's brains, from a physiological point of view, do not stop growing until age 25. Meaning that's why they try to recruit you into the armed services at 19, because you're still very cushiony, you're still very malleable. They can mold you into whatever they want. They can tell you that fighting and guns and war is okay and you'll believe it. Your brains are not finished being formed. Whereas at 25, you now have a mature brain. You have a finished brain. So your point of reference is completely different than what it is at 17. So that's an issue to consider as well. So if you'd like to hop in on this topic, stuck at 17, we'd like to hear from you. And our call-in number is 888-909-1050, 888-909-1050. This is an avenue where men can be men. You can let your hair down. You can say whatever you want. Usually guys can't talk about these sensitive issues with another woman because the other woman will just bite their head off. So there's very few women who are open-minded enough to hear the guy's point of view, and that's what this show is all about. So Bruce, what do you think we can do with people who are still in love with their first love, no matter what age they are?
Well, one of the things that will help anyone at any age is communication. And that's another thing that men are not that great at in general. And, when they communicate when they're 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, it's just whatever blurts out of their mouth, whatever comes out. And as they get older, they get into the workforce and they learn to be more sophisticated communicators in the business world. But the really successful guy is going to have a good balance between business, earning money, and having a relationship. And the way to do that is to develop communication skills where you can share, like you said, some of your feelings, but to really create a two-way conversation with your woman so you find out what she likes, what she doesn't like, what she wants, what she doesn't want. And if you go there like, kind of Fred Flintstone pounding his chest, that's not going to make for a great relationship, although Fred and Wilma did pretty good. What you really want to do is to open up communications between the two, and that's the way to successful relationships for a long time to come.
I love that. Let's pick up that communication skills thought. Joe's going to pay a couple of my bills, and we'll be back in a couple of moments here. You are currently listening to the Men's Advocate Show with Linda Gross, where men can be men.
Taking no control, it's your heart and soul.
You are on the Men's Advocate Show with Linda Gross, where men can be men. Our topic today is Stuck at 17 with my guest, Bruce Starr. So please chime in. We'd love to hear from you. 888-909-1050, 888-909-1050. Let us know if you were stuck, if you were cheated on or your girl left you during your teenage years. How did that affect you? All right, Bruce, we were talking a little bit about communication skills before the break, and I know a lot of guys don't like to be verbal. So how would you advise a guy go about earning some communication skills and getting a better mastery over it so he's not stuck in this rut kind of situation?
One of the things, I love the movie Hitch, and towards the end of the movie Hitch, he went up to the girl, knocked on her door, and just couldn't get those thoughts out when he was looking at her eye to eye. So he asked her to close the door, and he was able to think more with the door closed. And I'm not suggesting that men ask, closed doors, but I am suggesting that they take some time to organize their thoughts. Why not write them down? Write them down in a book. Write them down so that when it's really time to share, you're a more effective communicator. What you're sharing is from your heart, and you're not beating around the bush, and you're not saying something that's, coming from anger or bitterness. So practice with yourself. Write down your thoughts before you share them. So, the worst thing that you can do is to say something out of anger or bitterness, because once you say something like that, your mate will remember that forever, and you're going to be in trouble no matter what. So make sure your thoughts are clear, and you're not blaming anybody, and you're not, you're not doing anything that's going to be detrimental to the overall relationship. That
sounds good. I like that. Also, maybe put a Post-it note on your mirror, and when you're brushing your teeth, just practice it a few times. Say, here's the 4 bullet points that I want to hit. Here's what I want to talk about, and just practice in front of the mirror. Aside from that, I like the closed door approach. Not that that's practical, but when I was writing the women's book, a lot of women asked me the question, I have something really important to say to my guy, but he often seems like he's disinterested or disconnected, or he's listening to the sports game or what have you. So my advice to them is don't talk to the guy eye to eye. Guys don't like that. They feel threatened. They feel like it's an FBI interrogation, even when they're the ones who are doing the talking. So instead, what I say, do something where you have the guy side to side, meaning go for a walk. Going for a walk, first of all, guys like that because it's an activity. They have an opportunity to use the physical. But secondly, they're not looking at you eye to eye. So you can go on the hike or go on the walk, and then he can bring up these difficult subjects, and he feels like he's literally on equal footing with you because you're side by side, and he doesn't feel like he's judged. So that might be an approach to take.
One of the things that I've learned, you watch The Bachelor, there's a lot of these relationship shows on TV, which is really great. Eventually, I'll get some of my shows on the air that I've got going. But it's so important. You watch The Bachelorette, and she says, after they've had this talk, she says, I'm so glad he shared with me, because for the first time, I'm getting to know who he is. And I feel like the walls are coming down between us. And what women have to remember and what men have to remember is that when they share, when they talk and share their feelings, it's not something to be embarrassed about, but it's the way that two people really get to know each other and really come together. It's to be vulnerable. And that's how really people trust each other more, when they're willing to be vulnerable with each other.
That's absolutely right. And take baby steps. You don't have to do it all in one session or one day. You know, it's this trust issue. It's a learning process. You do it in little steps, and then if you find that you trust her, then do a little bit more the next conversation. So it doesn't have to be all or nothing. So I agree with you. All right, Bruce. It turns out that we have a caller. Caller, please join us. State your name and what city you're from.
My name is Michael, and I'm in Los Angeles.
Hi, Michael. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm enjoying listening. I'm an old friend of Bruce's, and I just want to show some support to him and appreciate all the work that he's doing. Bruce, this is Michael Rogers.
Hey, Michael. Wow. How great to hear from you.
It's good to talk to you. I'm so happy for the work that you're doing now.
Thank you, man. You know, we'll connect over Facebook and catch up. I know you're doing great with your real estate work out in the Beverly Hills area. Congratulations for that, and I look forward to catching up with you.
Well, yeah, I think the topic that you're discussing is very interesting. It's a lot of
Michael, please step up to the mic just a little bit so our callers can hear you.
I said the topic that I've been listening to is a lot of great information and things that are somewhat overlooked or not really delved into too much, especially from the men's point of view.
Yeah, you know, Michael, when guys are not relating to their women, when they're not in relationship, when they're not relating, when they're dating, I feel, because after being single for a lot of my adult life and now being with Lauren now for so many years, 15, 16 years, and 10 years, 11 years old now, and she's doing great, Michael, what I have found is that you kind of live, nobody wants to admit this, but you kind of live a two-dimensional kind of existence. When you're able to bring love into your life, when you're able to bring a relationship, a supportive, a loving one into your life, and then a child comes out of it, wow, sure. That's three-dimensional living to the fullest. And that's why I'm on the air here, Michael, is to let people know, yes, love can be scary, but it's so worth it to push through the scary parts with the right person to be in a successful relationship.
Well, coming from where we met in Honduras, you get through a lot of scary situations there. So I wish you all the best, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
So what a nice surprise, Michael. God bless. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
All right, we have another caller. Caller, please state your name and your city, please.
Hello, my name is Ernie. I'm calling from South Miami.
Oh, hi, Ernie. How are you? Please speak into the mic.
How are you doing?
Keep your voice up.
I'm
Welcome.
fine.
How can we help you today?
Yeah, talking about being stuck at 17. I was, I think 16. I was in junior high, and my then girlfriend cheated on me with another fellow classmate. And she was my very first girlfriend, so I was devastated. Didn't have another girlfriend for about another 4 years. Was with her for a few years. We had a baby together, very young. She did the same thing. And I think now, I don't know, I've always tend to pick women who are like needy or along those lines, and I always seem to go overboard to keep them happy, even to the point where sometimes I forget about my happiness.
Right. One lesson for me personally that was very difficult for me to do, and I still struggle with this, is I'm such a natural giver. And what I struggled with is that that's not necessarily healthy. That we might be looking for the broken wing syndrome and not taking care of our own needs or being at the detriment of our of our own needs and wishes. So one thing I have to always remind myself of is to have reciprocity. That if it's fine to give, but if every second or third time, not that you're keeping score, but if she's not giving back to you, then it's going to be a dead-end relationship. You're going to burn yourself out, and then she's going to take advantage of you and possibly manipulate you. So it's you've got to look for the healthy balance, and sometimes you have to ask for that balance. So, yeah, be aware of the broken wing syndrome. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like men who are constantly looking after women who need help to feel, so the man feels more important and feels more manly. There's nothing wrong with a man being in that protector role, that protector-provider role, but you have to also seek the balance, that you're a human being, you count, you matter, and you have to get your needs met as well.
True, which I really haven't had. Well, I after the second breakup, I finally did get married. Was married for 20 years. The marriage didn't work out. Ever since then, I think I've had like 4 or 5 girlfriends, and then I recently got remarried again. That marriage only lasted happily another 9 months because I started recognizing all the patterns that I've had in past relationships, and because I've learned now from the past relationships, I told myself, oh no, this is not a healthy relationship. I need to leave this relationship because I'm not getting what I need out of it, and I'm not getting the love and the respect that I deserve because I'm not getting back what I put in.
Well, I'm so proud of you that you were able to see this time around so quickly. You know, a lot of times men make the same, repeat the same lesson again and again and again, and it takes them years, if not decades, to pull out of it. So the fact that you did this in a relatively short amount of time, like 8 or 9 months, I'm very proud of you, and you're on the right path. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right path, and you're seeking answers, and you're looking to take care of yourself as well, and that's really great news.
Yes,
Bruce, do you have a comment for our caller Ernie with regard to he was in 2 first relationships that the girls cheated on him?
Well, sure. I mean, I've had so many conversations with people on America Online when they share stories like this with me. The one of the reasons why it never works out is when a man picks a woman because of her weaknesses, she'll accept a guy to be there for him and shower her with gifts or with compliments and to lift her up. But many times, once they're lifted up, once they're healed, they will leave their man because that was the foundation and the basis of that relationship, him just giving to her. So that doesn't work. And the second thing is that men have to aim higher. We don't want to walk into a room anymore. And I have a feeling that you're really growing with this. You're not going to walk into a room anymore and look for the girl sitting in the corner with her eyes down, looking depressed and looking needy, and say to yourself, oh, wow, look at her. She's what I want. See, that's what a lot of people do. They look at the one who's down and they say, hey, I could make a difference in her life. She'll love me because she's so down and out, and I'll be there for her. So there's nothing equal there. What we all need to do, and I want to help every single one of the people that are listening, I want to let you know my email address. It's LUVCOACH, LUVCOACH at AOL.com. I can help people like Keith, work with them on a one-on-one basis to help them out of where they are. And also, Linda, for anyone that's listening, I'm going to send a chapter out of my book, Body Traders, Transforming Back from Player to Lover, for anyone that emails me at lovecoach at AOL.com. But that's the thing, is to aim higher, and when you raise your vibration, you raise your self-love for yourself, you won't be picking people that have so much trouble. You'll be picking people and looking for people who are doing much better in life, and they're going to find you also.
Sounds great, Bruce. So just to repeat, Bruce was saying if you email him at his email address, that he will send you a chapter on this subject. Repeat that email address and also give out your Twitter handle and website information if you'd like to.
Great. It's LUVCOACH, not with an O, Love, L-U-V, Coach, at AOL.com. And my Twitter handle name is LUVCOACH, LUVCOACH 1, and I'll be glad to communicate with anyone who contacts me. If you Twitter me, you send me an email, I'd be glad to send you a chapter of my book, and I guarantee you what you'll read from that one chapter will make a difference in your life. And you can find my book at Amazon, Body Traders. Just put in Body Traders. There's no such word in the dictionary, but it will be a word soon. Body Traders simply means people who trade each other what they have to be in a relationship rather than finding someone from the heart. So I'd be glad to talk to you about that another time if anybody wants to contact.
Thank you, Bruce. You are listening to the Men's Advocate Show with Linda Gross, where men can be men. And welcome back to the Men's Advocate Show with Linda Gross, where men can be men. I want to let you know something that I found out in my research, and that was, why do men become players and a-holes? Guess what? They don't start off this way. They make a decision at some point in their life to turn this way. As I was writing my book, Mastering Women, The Real Truth About Women That Will Change Your Life Forever, I interviewed 20,000 men. And I asked the ones who were in this categories, the players and the a-holes, and guess what they said? Every single one of them was because they were cheated on during high school. So basically what that meant to me is that they were putting a wall up, that they were so hurt during those teen years that they put a wall up and they did not want to have that feeling ever again. So they decided to take the upper hand and be mean to women proactively. So beat them to the punch. So if you're mean, then she doesn't have an opportunity to be mean to you. Like you've already put your boxing gloves on, you've already, closed off that perimeter, and there's only so much that you will let the women in. We're joined on this show by my guest, Bruce Starr. Bruce, do you have any comments on players and your observation about them and men who are mean to women?
You're exactly right. What you said, of course, you've done the investigation, you've done the interviewing. Nothing hurts worse than having someone you love. You're just open. You're an open person. You just love this person. You have no defenses. And then if they break your heart, oh, my God, nothing hurts worse than that. Nothing has hurt worse than that in my life. And I did just what we've been talking about, just what your investigation has discovered, that we don't ever want to hurt that way ever again. I call it my pie theory. When we're 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, we come with a full pie, a full apple pie, a full cherry pie. We offer it to that woman. Oh, my God, here's my pie, and she gives you yours. And you walk around with these two incredible filled pies, and you're filled, you're excited, you're loving, you're having great experiences. But if she breaks your heart, wow, what are you going to offer to the next person? Very little of that pie. And if you try one more time and you get your heart broken again, you're going to offer no pie. You'll have an empty pie tin, and you'll end up going onto the internet with all these people that also have empty pie tins, and all you'll have left is two empty pie tins banging together. And that's why all these relationships on the internet don't work out. The internet is great. It's a wonderful place to meet each other, but you've got to regrow your heart. You've got to relearn or unlearn some of the bad habits that we've picked up because we've had our heart broken. And you and I together, Linda, we can work with guys like that. I can come out to Los Angeles and we could do some events out there and really help men heal their hearts and teach them how to trust themselves and trust others also.
I think there's a great need for that. And before our show, Bruce and I were talking, and we would love to do that. I think there's a great need for people to come together, figure out where they are, figure out what's not working in their life, and how to become a confident, honorable, powerful man. I am so looking forward to it. Bruce and I are going to talk a little bit more about doing joint seminars in person where we can come to your town or you come to the city where we're located, and we'll teach you one-on-one. We'll coach you one-on-one how to get this done. So if you guys have interest in that, please send me an email or Facebook, and we'll take it from there. And we absolutely are going to make this happen in the near future. If you've just joined us, you're listening to the Men's Advocate Show with Linda Gross. We're talking about the topic Stuck at 17. Which means that your girl cheated on you or left you for another guy when you were in your teen years, and how that affected you for the rest of your life. If you'd like to chime in on this subject, please call us at 888-909-1050, 888-909-1050. Also, there's a website address I'd like you to save to your favorites, and that's my Facebook page. The Facebook page is the Men's Advocate Show with Linda Gross. On that Facebook page, you will find all the program information on links that we talked about on the show, contact information, who my current and upcoming guests are going to be, and any and all relevant information to the show. It's also an area that you can email me questions or what future topics that you'd like us to share with you. Bruce, do you have any few last words that you'd like to wrap up to this regard?
You know, I think that men have huge potential for growing out of the quagmire, the stuckness that they're in. I think they're seeing that they've been stuck for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, whatever it is. But I want people to know that there's a lot of opportunity to change that. You need to be willing to change it. You need to want to have love. Some people have had their hearts broken so badly, they have bought the idea that love is harsh, love is bad. We were all born pure love. It's who we are inside. And when we turn away from wanting love in our lives, as in style as it is now, as so easy to hook up and go here and go there, and this dating site and that dating site, and this girl and that guy, and so many dates in a week, that's a lot of junk. It's a lot of junk. You need to find a way to use these wonderful dating services in the best way possible, and it isn't by going around from date to date to date, getting disappointed, always thinking that the next one is the one you're going out with in 3 days. It can't work that way. Call Linda, call me, let us help you. We want to help you because we know that one guy at a time, we can change the world by helping them find love so that they can share all the good that they've done in their lives with someone they care about. I know that's what people want. And Linda, you and I together can help men have a much more a fuller life for themselves.
I agree. And getting back to the players and the a-holes, it's my opinion that on day one, you are born with your full potential, with a full 100%. Of course, some of these men have made a decision to be a player and an a-hole, but guess what? You chop down that percentage. You're shielding yourself, and now you're only operating at 40% or what have you. You are not at your full potential. So rather than getting upset by it, we can take that as an opportunity to learn from it. Just like a boxer, if he were to get in the ring and he were to get punched out again and again and again, guess what? It might take, 6 tries, might take 8 tries, but after that, he gets darn mad and he goes back to his trainer and he does more learning and more training, and and psychs up his mind to become a better boxer. So when he comes back into the ring, he's ready to go. He's ready for a knockout. He's ready to knock out the other person. So using this coping mechanism of being less than, while it does work, it's not very fulfilling. And you're not at your full potential. So why not lead a happy life that you're just going to blossom and grow and just be this wonderful gentleman and honorable and confident? Bruce and I want the best for you, that you're running at 100% speed, because that's what life is meant to be, is to seek what's holding us back and get rid of the roadblocks that are holding us back from that 100%.